Welcome back to Frostpunk 2. Our last episode was the entire prologue, and now we're getting into Chapter 1. I've already played through Chapter 1 successfully at the lowest difficulty. We're trying it at the next higher difficulty, and I'm genuinely not sure if I'm up to the task. So you can already hear the ominous music telling me that the game thinks I'm not. We'll see about that. So we're starting the real story of New London now. Originally, we told the story of some people who were stranded with a busted train, scavenging for oil, but now we're moving to, I think, the actual city that was the setting of Frostpunk 1. But now we've kind of stepped back a layer in terms of just the scale of it, and the city itself is represented here. In the middle, but we've actually got a much larger space that we're going to be working with, and it's full of all of these resources and things that we're going to go after. And one thing I have been curious about is how different this was going to be from my original playthrough, and as far as I can tell, this looks like it's roughly the same. I think, it's been a while since the untouched beginning of the map, but I think they've got all the same stuff in the same places. So it looks like the core campaign is basically the same every time you play it. However, I did notice there are other options on the main menu, including something like building a utopia, which I want to check out later on because I'm very curious if that represents maybe a little bit more of a freeform, a little more of an unpredictable version of the game. So let's have a look at our initial objectives. So we need to frost break to a shallow coal seam and get an extraction district so that we can start mining coal. We need to turn on the generator once we have some coal to put in it, and construct some new housing districts because we're 70 houses short. So basically, New London is getting overcrowded. We don't know how to house or warm these people, so we need to figure that out. So we're going to start out frost breaking. So we've got this seam of coal out here, but spoilers, this chapter is about how this is not going to last forever, and we need to find better long-term solutions. So I'm going to build outwards like this to try to catch as much of that coal as I can. And I'm also going to go over here. So along these kind of canyons are the spaces that are going to be the easiest to settle in because they've got shelter from the wind, which means that they're easier to heat. It looks like we've got space for one housing district in here already. I'm going to frost break just a little bit more to make sure we have space, and also to get access to some of the resources that we'll need later on. Okay, so I think we need to finish this frost breaking phase. And then I think I want to do another phase of it to make sure that I've got access to as much coal as possible. However, we got to make sure we don't overdo this, because each time we frost break, it costs heat stamps. They were called scraps in the prologue, but they call them heat stamps here in New London. But it's money. You can run yourself out of money pretty fast doing too much frost breaking, and then it ends up slowing down your progress quite a bit. So, okay. So now that we've completed all of that frost breaking, we're going to build an extraction district. So it looks like if I built the extraction district all the way over here, again, I would get some heat savings, but that seems silly. So I'm not going to do that there because this is also a really good place to build housing. So, and you want to keep your extraction away from your housing. So I'm going to build there. You can build the districts in the prologue were all kind of 3 tiles big. Now they're 6 tiles big. So I'm going to build that one. But then I should also, this is a mistake I made the first time I played, I forgot to keep track of prefabs. They teach you about prefabs in the prologue, but they don't remind you about prefabs once you get into the main game. You have to remember that they exist yourself. So I'm going to build a little spur of frost-broken terrain out here into these prefabs, and we're going to build an extraction district for those prefabs as soon as we possibly can. And then while we're at it, see, it looks like we've got a zillion prefabs up here. We do have a lot, but we're going to need so many more than we have. So I'm going to build a housing district right here in that little chasm, but I don't think that's going to be enough of a housing district. So I'm going to build another one here, hoping I can fit it in without... Yeah, you don't want to be next to the extraction district. It's going to raise your squalor. So I'm just going to build it here. There we go. Okay, so that's 2 housing districts coming in. And okay, so we've built our prefab mine, and it's not working yet because we haven't built it. Sorry, I keep forgetting. The difference between I did this actually. I did sort of a failed run at the prologue, and the thing that I did wrong was thinking that when I frost broke something, that I had built it. You have to actually build the thing. So now, if I want these places to sort of share heat. You know what? There's probably a way I could have planned ahead to make this better. I just sort of built this in a random direction, but I probably should have tried to build it consciously so that we could have the 2 extraction districts share a lot of borders with each other so that they could share heat. And they're not doing that. So that's a missed opportunity. If I were sort of doing this again and maximizing it, I would probably try to do a better job of that. But, so we have... built an extraction district. We have constructed new housing districts. It's still not enough to get our shelter under control, but it's all they're asking for now. So now it's time to turn on the generator because we've got so we're earning some coal, 120 coal. So we turn this on. Good work, steward. We've secured steward is me, of course, replacing the captain. We've secured a new coal deposit. It's part of the last vein in New London. There's still some deposits left, but they won't last for long. We need to improve our mining to use it efficiently, but the city's communities are voicing different ideas about how to do it. We need to decide whose ideas are worth pursuing. We must choose a solution. By the way, I always appreciate games that can put custom text onto the buttons that you select. There's something about sort of characterizing the action you're taking. If everything is just okay or cancel, that's not nearly as evocative as we must choose a solution. Okay, so we need to build a research institute because that's where you make a lot of these determinations. We also need to expand an existing housing district to make room for one. And expanding is a thing that we didn't do in the prologue. It's a brand new thing. Actually, let's do this.
And will answer personally in due time.
Did he just say, I appreciate all your boring letters? Anyway, so you hit the expand button right here, and then you can pick 3 more tiles to move it into. So I'm going to leave this direction open, but I'm going to move up here onto the side. And so now it's building an expansion, and that is... so. The reason to build expansions is because districts can have building slots. In fact, maybe this one already has one. Yeah, so districts can have building slots, and when you build an expansion, it adds a building slot. So housing districts, I believe, start with no building slots, and you have to expand them to get one. Most places like extraction districts get one automatically, and then you can expand it to get more. And so it's showing that we've already got some buildings that we can make. Oh yeah, the Research Institute. Is that all? Oh, and the Council Hall. I think we'll be instructed to do that one pretty soon. A child is born. People gather around the generator tower as it wakes with a thundering shudder and bestows heat on us again. This is the heart of the city, our last line of defense against the cold. You can tell this was made in Europe because of how they spell defense. Our first hope for a future. Any future. Steward, there's a couple who says their first child, a daughter, was born at the exact moment the generators spring to life again. They called her Lily May. They ask that you bless her. You gave us hope back. Thanks to you, our child may yet have a future ahead of her. So, very well, Lily May. May your life be warm and the winds spare your paths. I didn't know... I hadn't remembered that they actually have 2 layers of characterizing what you say in response to things. That's great. Okay, so we've now built an expansion to the housing district, which means we've got an empty building slot now. So we go over to the buildings, pick housing, pick Research Institute, and we stick it right where it fits. And then while we're at... Okay, so yeah, so we're still building our extraction district over here. Oh, and check that out. They're just sort of procedurally adding routes for, like, transports to be taking, from one tunnel to another to, like, get to all of these places that I'm building, which is kind of cool. By the way, you'll notice that our food, we've got a serious deficit, and with our materials, but they started us with enough of a stockpile. You see the bar down here, and further down on the flyout is a stockpile. And so we're actually... We're not dealing with the negative consequences yet of having deficits in these resources because we already have a stockpile of them. By the way, also note, we gained a few houses when we expanded the housing district. Okay, so we've got different ideas. Now that we've got the research building established, a small crowd gathers outside the new research institute, arguing about how to exploit the last coal veins. The stalwarts... Ooh, stalwarts. That's a new faction I've never had before. I've only had there was a faithful faction, but I made a choice in the prologue that means that I've got the stalwarts now. The stalwarts and New Londoners want us to lean on machine-powered mining, but the Frostlanders would have us pursue a more frugal solution. They would never display such discord under the captain's rule. You have to choose who to entrust with developing their idea. Spoilers, the Frostlanders' more frugal solution is using children. So yeah, show me our options. So here's the idea tree. And this is basically your tech tree. So in heatings, we've got the coal mines. We've got two ideas for the coal mines. One is a dust coal mine. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. So right here, is this not yet where we decide to... oh, that's right. There's a more desperate choice further down where you choose whether you're going to have children working in the mines. That's not yet, so I did give you a spoiler for later on. So right now, we can do a dust coal mine, which nobody wants to do. Or the New Londoners and the Stalwarts want to do a blasting coal mine. So there's a difference between the two. This one has less coal output, and disease is slightly increased, and 20 materials is what it costs. This takes a lot more materials and increases squalor, but it also gives you more coal while it's going. So I went with dust coal mine my first time through, and the reason I did was because I thought I could manage less coal output. I just didn't want to take on too many additional consequences. But just because it's new, to me, I think I'm going to go with blasting coal mine this time. So I believe that what that just gave us is a new building, right? No, it didn't give us a new building. Oh, it didn't give us anything, of course. I've only started researching it. It now appears on this dial, and it's going to slowly fill up, and then we will have, I think, a new building. So yeah, so we're going to finish researching that idea. I would love to build a little bit more shelter, though, because I don't like my people being so cold. So we'll build another housing district, and I think I'm going to build it out here on the surface, but it's going to benefit from 3 tiles overlapping the border, not overlapping, but sharing a border with the other housing district. That's going to give it some efficiencies when trying to heat it. So once that's built, we should have enough housing for all of our people. And we've got some prefabs coming in. 15 prefabs a week. And scraps. We also have scraps coming in a week, 13 a week, and that's just from your population, basically. But if they don't have enough goods, they don't give you as much stuff. Goods is up here, and it is it's later in the chapter that you start worrying about goods. I am wondering if it might be worth it for me to mine even more prefabs. I mean, I've got the workforce for it. The problem is it requires materials and it requires heat. So maybe I should hold off for just a little bit longer. Let's speed up time and watch this research fill up.
Do not be alarmed by any unusual noises coming from the generator. Routine maintenance work is underway.
Okay, the time slowed down again because there's an event over here. It's good to have you back, old chap. It's a terrible fright to have you switched off. You're more than just a heat source to us, you know. To us, you're a symbol of what we should be, unbending, unyielding fortitude. May we all stand so bold against the frost. The generator is revered and respected by the stalwarts. So that's just characterizing the groups. Oh, so by the way, we should have a look at who our groups are. So we have the Frostlanders. These are people from the outside who they're really interested in like how you handle scouting and exploring, and because they're outsiders who haven't spent a lot of time inside these heated cities, they aren't really that impressed by mechanical and industrial solutions to problems. They like more person-focused solutions to problems. These are the stalwarts. I don't really know them all that well. We could actually click on them to see a little bit more. Progress for the glory of New London. Merit forges the strongest. Reason for order. Order for control. So these are kind of like Industrial Revolution, Enlightenment type guys, as opposed to the religious zealots that I had in my other playthrough. So it'll be interesting to me to see if things play out differently because of it. And then the New Londoners, this is just the normal, just everybody else in the city. 80 people froze to death because we're not making enough coal. Actually, okay, I think we're about to get a coal mine type building. And if we do, hopefully I can solve this. So yes, a blasting coal mine. I'm assuming extraction. Yes, here we go. So this is going to take stuff I can afford. So I'm going to stick it right there on our coal mine. And once it's built, it's going to improve the rate at which we mine the coal. But that's a two-edged sword. We're going to be mining coal faster so that we can keep the generator running hotter, but also we're going to be mining coal faster, which means we'll be running out faster. So with the new mine, the impending doom of depleting coal is postponed, yet differences between communities remain. The weakening captain wanted to establish a council to settle them. He didn't live to see it through. It falls to you, steward. The people of New London want a say in how it's run. The first decision, whether you should continue to lead the city. All right. Well, let's do that. So over here we got an event. Oh, so trust is falling because people are dying due to cold. Yeah, I know. We're working on it. In fact, hey, check it out. Building that coal mine, we're now putting out 300 coal instead of the 100 and something that we had before. We've got a surplus of coal now. We're starting to stockpile it. So that's good. We like that. But yeah, so what they want us to do is build the council hall. This can be built in the central district. And this is where we have votes and things. And this is an interesting part of the game.
An automaton has broken down and is blocking traffic. Technicians are on their way.
We are starting to run pretty low on food. So while that's building, I think I'm going to start laying the groundwork for producing some food. So we could do it over here. We could also do... I think the easiest place to do it is probably going to be over here. In fact, oh yeah, we've already frostbroken to this food. So I think I'll frostbreak to just a little bit more. Can I get to that? Yes, I can. Oh, wow, I can get pretty far. Let's do that. But I think I'd like to actually build a food district. Should I think eventually I want to build a housing district that goes here, here, and here. Here, here, here. And if I do that, then I can share heat with this place if I do it that shape. So let's do that. Eventually, I'm going to be told to gather food, I'm pretty sure, but I'd like to get started now. Okay, let's speed up time to get that council chamber done. Okay, so here is our first council session. Anticipation fills the air as the council opens. The captain ruled with a firm hand for years, but those times died with him. Now the communities of the city want their say. The stalwarts maintained order on behalf of the captain and adhere to what they claim was his vision for New London: progress, merit, and reason. The New Londoners and Frostlanders clash over our survival strategy, though neither has a firm stance on economic or social issues. Then there are those who view the stalwarts with contempt for their role in New London's history, but they keep to the shadows for now. Based on your handling of the coal crisis, the first decision is whether you should maintain your role as steward. So let's open the session. So you come in here all the time as a part of this game. And it's I like how they've represented it here. Everything has such gorgeous art in this game. I mean, they're definitely spending a lot of their resources on grandeur, but whatever. So when you return to the council in the future, you'll be able to propose new laws to vote upon. But for now, a special vote needs to happen on whether they will accept me. So, People are divided. I could just vote now. And if I vote now, it could go either way. They could vote me in, they could vote me out. Hard to say. I don't know what happens if they vote me out. I guess the game ends. I'm not sure. But if you don't want to leave it to chance, you can negotiate. And I love this simulation of, like, democracy, because this is really a lot, especially in parliamentary systems. This is how it happens. It's like you don't know if you're going to get the vote, but you can horse trade with people to secure their votes. So the New Londoners, for instance, these people are all open to negotiating. New Londoners and Frostlanders both have a lot of delegates. The Stalwarts don't have very many, so they can't help me that much. But let's talk to the New Londoners, because I think I went Frostlanders the first time. Now I want them to vote for me, and I gotta pick what I'm gonna promise them. So I could do a mechanized sawmill, a ventilation tower, machine-centric shifts. So this one is about decreasing workforce requirements, but but getting squalor. This is also squalor. I think that these folks just like squalor. But this is a building that lets us get materials faster. Now, since I went with the blasting sawmill, that's going to take more materials. And so I think this might be what I want to do. Then there's a ventilation tower, which can reduce squalor. So I could sign on for something that increases squalor, but then later on go for something that reduces it. So yeah, I'm going to promise them that I'm going to research something that they want me to research. And so now you can tell that I've got a guaranteed success. So let's hit vote. And then watch all the votes tally up. And, okay, at first I thought I was just squeaking by.
Has been approved.
Okay, so now, expanding coal extraction was a success, but we need a new source of fuel. So that's going to be one of our big goals. So, before we look at more of these instructions, let me think if there's... Oh yeah, I want to fulfill my promise. So, researching the mechanized sawmill, let's do it. Where is resources, sawmills, and we can go mechanized or we can go different kind. No one cares about that one. Let's do the one we promised. Okay, so I've got that research kicked off. And in order to actually build a mechanized sawmill, I'm going to need to find a spot to gather materials. So that's out here. I can also grab prefabs. I just realized these prefabs were already frostbroken. I didn't need to frostbreak out here. But whatever, it's fine. So I think I do want these two districts, whenever I build them, to be next to each other. But that's 4 pieces. And then if I do 2 here, I'm going to need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to put down an extraction district to get materials. And I'm going to try to wrap kind of around like that, so that when I eventually build both of these, they'll be able to share heat. Okay, so we'll get that going because I'm going to want a place to build my new sawmill. But what they really want me to do right now is build a logistics district on an old way station. So what they're talking about is spots like this. This is basically the boundary of your map. I think there's one up there. There's one down here. And there's one up here. And a logistics district is about managing things on the outside of your city. So I'm going to build my first one. No, I'm not. I'm going to frost break it. I got a frost break all the way out here. So let's do that, I guess. Yeah. What is the most efficient way to do this? So the problem is I'm going to want to eventually frost break to this thing. And I don't want to waste a bunch of frost breaking effort. So I think I'm going to make sure... I get all of that stuff rather than sort of cutting it off. You're kind of playing a game of Snake with yourself a little bit when you're frost breaking. You don't want to like cut off places that you later are going to want to go. So we're frost breaking that. We're building that. We're building these. Let's go. Ooh.
Brace yourself. Cold is coming.
Okay, so we've got a colder season now. So basically one of these little cold icons moved into the present. And we've got another one upcoming, and we're not getting enough coal. So we've got a little stockpile. So we can, like, last a short time with this deficit, but we're going to need to expand our coal operation real quick. So one way to do that is to build a new extraction district all the way out here. But another way to do that, I think, is to expand the district we already have. I think that might be a slightly more cost-effective method. So let's do this. So not only am I grabbing more of these coal icons, but I'm also making room for us to build another building. And I think I'm also sharing heat more with the neighboring districts. So I think that all of those things are good. Okay, so now you can see we've got less of a food deficit and less of a materials deficit than we had before, because we've built a materials thing here. It's producing 150, and we've got a food thing here, and it's producing 50. It's not quite enough, though, and actually, our shelter is also falling behind. So I was already thinking that I wanted to build another shelter district out here. So let's just do that. So this one is going to be very cheap to heat, because not only is it next to the previous housing district, it's also next to my new food district. So I want to build that, and then, so that's not that much food, but these districts don't produce a lot anyway. So I'm not sure. So we don't have any buildings yet researched that can help with food. So what are our options here? We could build a second district that sort of connects this. That I think that might be our best bet right now. So I'm going to build this. And I think once I expand both of these, we can get them to overlap a little bit more. But I'm blasting through prefabs, you'll notice, and workforce. So in fact, I'm not sure I have enough workforce to do the additional frost breaking I need to do. Okay, no, I think I'm good. So let's climb our way up this mountain to get access to that logistics spot. Okay, you'll see from the new things I built, we now have 17 surplus of shelter and 12 surplus of food. So shelter and food are doing great. We're running real low on workforce. In fact, I'm not dead certain that we can do this logistics district without some problems. Yeah, we need 400 workforce. So I've overcommitted my people because I'm planning ahead so much. So I think once we get the logistics district up, we can actually recruit some new people. So I think what I'm going to do for now is turn off this district. So that means that we're slurping up materials real fast, but we've got a stockpile of materials. We can last a little while. Oh, hey, the New Londoners are happy that I finished that research. So you can see my relationship with them. Oh, wait, this is the Stalwarts. Well, they like me too. But yeah, my relations with these folks are growing because I'm doing stuff that they like. Let's assign some new research while we're at it. So I think we need to be producing food at a better rate, but there's also, what's charcoal plants? What's this? Oh, this is a new kind of, okay, it's got a, we can put a new coal producing thing in, oh, interesting, okay. I wonder, is this a building that will make coal without needing to have a coal seam? If so, that sounds great. So this requires more heat and causes squalor. This requires less heat and causes disease. But the Stalwarts and the New Londoners like this idea, and I am trying to build relations with them. So, actually, one thing I need to check. Oh, I've only got 100 heat stamps. So actually, Let's hold off on that for a second because I need to make sure I know how much this logistics district costs. 40 heat stamps. So let's do the logistics district first. And now we're almost out of heat stamps. So those will come rolling in, but I've got to start really paying attention. Okay, we've just run out of our coal there. So our expansion to the extraction district has made a difference, but not enough of a difference. So let's... Okay, so we could build a mechanized sawmill later. Right now, I think I want... Can I do a second blasting coal mine? I think I can. And so I will. Ooh, check it out. We're about to run out of these prefabs over here. Okay, and we're done with our logistics district. So they're showing us the landscape outside New London. So this is where, I mean, so there was a map of the land outside your city in the original Frostpunk. And you could do something like this. I think they fleshed this out more. If I remember right, I think they fleshed this out more than they did last time. So out here in our immediate territory, we can investigate. Oh, hey, and we can send... So my main resource out here is Frostland teams. I've got 15 of them. And so that means these are basically my scouts, the people that are employed by the logistics district. And I can build things in the logistics district that expands my number of teams. And so my teams, I need them for short-term stuff, like go out and get those people and bring them back. Or go out and get that resource and bring it back. That will use use some number of teams for a certain amount of time, and then you get them back. But there's some things like, for instance, maintaining an outpost that require ongoing investment of the teams. Like it's just going to occupy 10 teams forever until you close it down. And so you have to keep constantly growing the amount of teams you have to keep more irons in the fire. So I do need some more people. So we're going to get 2,665 of them if we send a team out to get them. So you can see that now I'm at 10 teams instead of 15 because we went out to get these guys. But the thing I'd like to do is launch an expedition with my remaining 10 out here to go and explore this bay. What we need to do is find a place that has got an alternate source of fuel. So you can see my little team is going out to investigate this spot. And it's going to take a certain amount of time. But while that's going on, let's come back to New London.
The right of way to frost-breaking teams in transit.
I'm going to turn this back on because I can, because now I've got enough people to run it. However, I now don't have enough housing again, and I don't have enough food. So, like, every problem you solve results in more problems. That's just how this game works. We are now making enough coal again because I've got 2 blasting coal mines attached to this place. What are these people saying? Cindy's pa went and got her governess like she's gonna be a duchess or something. Not on our watch. We roughed up the little bitch, all right. Ferguson's boys will learn this too. If they try and wife us again tonight, we'll pull razors and say we'll cut out their eyes. It'll be good fun. What we's want is a proper rumble. Short blades only. Come on, who wants to play? So, basically, they want me to make a law about childhood because the children are being crazy. All right, sure. So that means that the council wants a new rule. Or they want... What do they want? They want... Where's children? Where's children? Society? Childhood, there it is. So, we can make a law about childhood to decide what to do with these crazy children. We can do family apprenticeship, which basically means I get more workers because we're employing children, or mandatory school, which means research goes faster, but people are poorer because that's what school does. I did family apprenticeship last time. It's got no downsides, but I'm kind of inclined to, just because this is my second playthrough, try things I haven't tried before. So I'm going to propose this law. It's got more support than it has people against, but let's just ensure that it works out. So the stalwarts definitely want this. Let's deal with the Frostlanders this time. So we want them to vote for, but we got to promise them something. Ooh, I was already interested in this charcoal regeneration plant. So yeah, let's promise them the thing we already wanted to do. That's like the cheapest way to promise things. have the vote. And look, the little lights all light up as people vote. It's really cool. But yeah, because I negotiated, it passes. Okay, but now I have to make a charcoal regeneration plant. At least I have to research one. So, do I want to spend my hard-earned cash on that right now? Yes, I do. I don't want to leave that promise unfulfilled. So let's do charcoal regeneration plant, because that's what we promised. Weirdly, it wasn't marked as being something the Frostlanders want, even though I did negotiate with them for it. So that spent all of my heat stamps. So I'm going to need to... This is going to start running out, which means I'm going to need to replace it with a new one over here pretty soon. But I can't afford it yet. How much does an extraction district cost? 40 heat stamps. So not that bad, actually. But I'm also going to need to build more shelter, more food. And food is going to cost another 40 heat stamps. Shelter is going to cost another 40 heat stamps. We need 120 heat stamps to do all this crap we need to do. So I guess we'll give that a try. Let's get out of this view. Okay, there we go. So, by the way, I can see up here that the job that I gave the Frostlanders to go and research or scout out that location, I can see the progress happening there. I now have 123 heat stamps, so I can do all 3 of the things I decided I wanted to do, unless there's some other resource that's going to get in my way. So that means an extraction district here, sharing 3 tiles, or like 3 bordering tiles, with the neighbors to keep the heat demands low, because I'm sure I'm going to start eating up our heat demands here. I wanted to add a food district. Wait, do I have room for a food district? Do I have a place to do a food district? Or do I need to... Oh, right, I can do this one if I want to. Because, yeah, I would need to frost break out to get these guys. But I've already got these guys freed up, so I'll just do one here. Like that, I guess. And then I'll do a housing district. No, I won't. I don't have enough workforce. Cool. I just invited a bunch of new people in, and I already don't have people. But whatever, it's fine. Let's just see how this goes. Ooh, who's this? Stockpiles depleted. Okay, yeah, so we're out of materials now. We've got our materials district. And actually, well, I'm trying to think, are any of these jobs that I'm doing... Oh yeah, so once we're done with the prefab district over here, we'll get some people back from that. So, yeah, because I definitely need to make more materials. I can probably do it, at least in part, with a sawmill. We've got an empty building slot here. How much does a sawmill cost? 300 workforce and 80 heat stamps. So I need more heat stamps, but I'll get those before I get the workforce, I think. Okay, so we've got this. Infectious agents. Okay, so... Steward, during a routine medical examination performed by stalwarts, a group of Frostlanders refused to be assessed. These checkups are relics of years past when a cough could endanger the city. That's gone now. We've adapted, one said. No point continuing this invasion of privacy. The stalwarts maintain its regular physicals help ensure the safety of our workers. It's vital we monitor our citizens' health, one foreman pushed back. We've had epidemics in the past. We mustn't allow another one. Okay, so I can make the Frostlanders mad, or I can make the other guys mad, or make everyone mad. So last time I went with the Frostlanders, this time I'll go with the New Londoners and the Stalwarts. So that means that I think we're mandating checkups. Maybe that'll end up reducing disease? I'm not sure. It didn't say it was going to reduce disease, so I should assume that it won't. But, check it out. Out here... Our scouting mission is complete. Whoa. Oh, wow. It's just a big old bay. Neat. But let's have a look over here. The others. In a cavern near the bay, we found a disturbing sight. Bodies in sturdy Frostland gear, neatly laid side by side and left to freeze, with black oil markings over their closed eyes. A ghastly burial ritual? A map we found suggested they were headed to an old machine somewhere in the desolate coast. A machine would require a source of fuel. We should investigate. And then over here... we've got a fishing village, and people would prefer to live in New London, and you know what? I need some more people. And now that we've got those people, we can also start harvesting food, which means we don't need to gather food at home. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's harvest this. So now I think... Or we just... Wait a minute. We're harvesting it. Oh, yeah, so this is sending resources to New London. For proper outposts, I think you have to build a path, but I think they're not making us do that yet for this early game deal. So, okay, so we've got only 5 Frostland teams left, which means if I want to go over to the Desolate Coast, for instance, I need more teams. So I need to let them finish the jobs they're doing now. So that includes bringing back our new recruits. Okay, yeah, so right here, this thing is done. It's run out of stuff, so we're going to demolish it and get the resources back. In the meantime, we now have the people, and I assume the resources to build a sawmill? Yes. So this is going to give us a bunch of materials. So let's finish up all this stuff. Okay. So yeah, our food's doing well. Our materials are... Oh! They're just tantalizingly not high enough. What am I going to do about those materials? Now, what happens if I expand this? Ooh, oh wait. Oh, hold on. We can get way more. Okay, that's not the button I meant to hit. Let's frost break these guys. And then I guess while we're at it, oh, let's go. There's an infinite source over here. And then I don't think we need to go all the way out to that. Let's do something like that. Okay, once that is frost broken. Oh, hey, so the Frostlanders are a little happier with me because I researched the thingy they wanted me to do. And the thingy they wanted me to do was a charcoal regeneration plant. So this is something, it costs a lot of heat stamps. And it raises disease. But this makes more coal, right? Yeah, 150 more coal. Compared to the blasting coal mine, 180 coal. So this is just another thing I can build, but how is it? This one uses 20 materials, and this one uses 60 materials. So this is a cheaper way, but this one uses more workforce than this one, and it's more expensive to build. So, okay, cool. Now let's look at this. We've got 2 blasting coal mines in this coal district, and oh, look, now that we're building so much stuff, our coal is going down again. So we should probably frost break. Wait, no, we've already got them. Hold on. Yeah, we can build here, right? We can build here. Why can't we build here? Why can't we build on top of these? Oh, not enough tiles to finish the district. That's right. Okay, so this is a thing that can happen. The frost-broken tiles here, there's only 5 of them. And you need 6 in order to build a district. So they won't let me build here because I can't finish the districts, which was probably fun for a programmer to sort of figure out how to calculate that. So there's nothing else around here that I really need to get access to. So I'm just gonna... I mean, I guess if I ever want to... eventually I'm going to want to expand this thing. So I'm going to make sure that I've at least got room to expand it. Something like that. So we'll frost break that. Oh, we brought more people in and we never built them housing. Let me see if I can make some housing happen for these folks. So we can't quite take advantage of proximity to all these other places unless I do some frost breaking shenanigans. So I'm gonna do some frost breaking shenanigans. Actually, let's get rid of that one. I think think that's what I want. I'm going to do a little bit more down this side, too. Actually. Ooh. Wait a minute. I think I only need one extra tile. I think I just need that tile. So if I get that tile, I can also frost break all the way out to all of that food. That seems worthwhile. Okay, that's all my money. Let's fast forward time and get some more. Ooh, something's going on. What's going on? Looming cold. Cold has risen to a concerning level. People may die or suffer frostbite. Provide shelter and heat. I'm working on it. Okay. Colder season. Coal demand increased. What's going on out here? I now have the required people to launch this expedition, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back to New London. By the way, I love that you can smoothly, like, you can just scroll all the way out here to the map level and then scroll in to your city. It's just completely smooth. I've seen other games try to do this. This is one of the smoothest ones I've ever seen. Now, one of the costs is each time you tap, like, one of the WASD keys, the camera, it's got some, like, acceleration in and out, and so it ends up being like, you don't have the level of control that you might be used to from other games. So yeah, let's get us some more heat stamps. So we've frost broken enough. We made a lot of room for ourselves. We're running out of coal real fast. So I think my priority has to be coal. But how much? It was 40, right? Yeah, 40 for coal, 40 for housing. So we need 80 heat stamps. What are these people saying? Squalor. Yes, okay. I'm trying to solve all your problems simultaneously, people. Leave me alone. So we need to wait till we have the money for at least one of these. Okay. So technically, we can last a couple more days with this. So I don't know if it's more important to provide the shelter or the coal. I think basically if we don't provide the shelter, that's status quo. If we don't provide the coal, things get worse. So I think I'm going to go for coal. Yeah. There we go. And I've still got room to expand. So basically, I don't think once you've built an expansion to like an extraction district, I don't think you can build another one. You can do emergency shifts to make it a little bit more if you want to. But yeah, okay, so we're building that. Okay, so now we've run out of coal, so now the negative is being applied to our heat.
The stalwarts encourage all.
What are you complaining about? Oh, the council has inspired people to suggest new ideas about the city's future. Ooh, cool. Oh, there's a new voice called the Pilgrims. There was an evolved group that showed up in my previous game, but this is the Pilgrims. Okay, so what do they want? 520 Frostlanders have organized in a faction. They are a resilient, spirited community held together by bonds of tradition. They dislike mechanized sawmill, blasting coal mine, and mandatory school. Okay, they seek to pass expedition support, supported quarantine, family apprenticeship, adaptation to quality tradition. Okay. Unlock the Deploy Guides community action. Experienced pilgrims with deep knowledge of the Frost will guide scout teams. And there's and if I get good relations with them, they can provide Frostland teams. Okay, cool. So they're good Frostland team stuff. Nice. Okay, but I've got just enough heat stamps now to build a new housing district. So my hope is that I can... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't need that one. I think... Yeah, I can be next to this one and next to this one at the same time. Oh, wait. No. Why does this one... No, I just accepted it. That's not what I meant to do. Whatever. I think I might need to make some improvements to that one later on. But are we... Okay, we're still building this extraction district over here. Let's get that done. Okay, we're still at a deficit, though. we're going to need to build something in there. Like a charcoal regeneration plant, for instance, but that's so expensive. It's cheaper to run day to day, but it's so expensive up front, and I can't afford that right now. I need 80 heat stamps and 300 workforce, and I got to take some squalor because of the 60 materials. If I had 250 heat stamps. Now, actually, wait, there is a thing that you can do. The stalwarts really like me.
Steward. Do you hear us, Steward?
You can raise funds. They can give you 78 heat stamps in exchange for worsening their relations. So my relations went down with them, but I got some heat stamps from it. I got 95 now. Now, I could keep waiting and sort of build towards the fancier building, but I think I might treat this as an emergency and say, no, we're going blasting coal mine right now with the money that I just raised. Okay. So we built some housing, but it still was not enough. We could build more, but also we could expand this one, because I think if we do that, I think we get some heat benefits in addition to the benefits of expansion. But also, I think we can research buildings that help us. Okay, we can't afford any research right now, but we can research buildings that help us with housing, like housing block, for instance. So that will require 50 heat stamps. So let's build towards that. I mean, I can always go back to the well for more money, or ask the New Londoners for money.
The pilgrims offer their services as guides to all travelers. They will share their knowledge.
Whoa, that was so many heat stamps. Oh wait, something broke. Why did something break? Don't break. Okay, we gotta fix something now. Okay, so we're gonna fix something here. Can we also expand? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna expand like this. And then I'm gonna build a second building, and this time I'm gonna build the expensive building. What's going on over here? Lack of a law regulating contagion prevention is causing tension to rise. Okay, you want a law? Fine. There's so many things you have to do. Society? No. Survival? No. City? Contagion prevention. So we can either go with quarantine or with an infectious badge. So people have to wear a badge when they're infected. That gives us increased tension, but disease is decreased. But not by much. However, demanding more shelter because you have to quarantine people, that might be worse in my current situation. And also, this is what I did last time. So I'm going to propose this one. I don't care about it that much, though. Let's vote and see what happens. So I'm not negotiating for it this time. I'm just seeing where the dice fall.
The proposed law has been approved.
It just barely made it. Okay, cool. Well, that's happening now. Not how I'd really like to run things. Oh, but check it out. Look. We're about to hit a warmer season, or we've just hit a warmer season, and our heat situation is getting way better. I think I'm still going to try to build the charcoal plant over here. Oh, hey, looks like something has happened out here. Oh, it's almost happened. There we go. The desolate coast. We've reached it. Let's see what's going on. The old dreadnought. Okay, this is what I was looking for. This is the setting of the prologue. We've found it again. And now we can build a colony there. All right, so oil tombs. On the broken shore lies an old derelict dreadnought. It seems to have been upgraded to run on oil as it rests beside rich deposits. Perhaps the site was a refueling station? But deep in the black pools lies rows of frozen bodies. Lie rows of frozen bodies, because that's how you conjugate that verb. Wrapped in shrouds and placed in the still wells. Our scouts shudder at the sight. So I think this might be the graves of the people I was playing in the prologue, which is funny to me. So we could remove the bodies to get more oil deposits, or we could respect the dead and let them lie in peace, and we can only get some of the oil deposits. So I definitely chose remove the bodies before. And since we're playing at a higher difficulty than last time, I think I might need to choose it again. I've been trying to do the opposite of what I did last time, but I agree. We need all the fuel we can get. The dead aren't going to mind that much. All right, so now we need to create a new colony at this site. So we'll do that in a bit. Let's look what these are. Oh, so these are giving us cores. Cores are good. Cores let us build fancy stuff. And then over here, it's an old cistern, but an oil cistern, but this is something that can give us oil after we've got people. After we've got the technology to use oil, which we don't have yet. All right, so to build a colony here, we have to build a path. And that requires 20 Frostland teams, which we don't have, 1 core, which we are about to get, and a trail connection to the city. So we don't have any of these things. We're going to need to get them. So first, let's solve our local problems here. So we've expanded our coal district here. It's got an empty building slot. So let's build... Oh, this requires 400 workforce, which we don't have. This only requires 300. I wonder what I can do about that. Probably not much. Yeah, probably not a whole lot. We can't build this yet, can we now? Well, let's hold off for just a bit. We do have a lot of sick people. Maybe they'll start getting better. Another thing we could also do is reduce the rate of something, actually. Let's go over to one of our food places. We're making a surplus of food, and that's good. You want to be able to store up food. But if we reduce the rate of this, then I can get some people back. And if I get people back, then I can build my new charcoal regeneration plant. No, I can't. I can't build it here, but I can build it here. What? Okay, interesting. This was actually something I suspected, but it looked like it just said it needs to build in an extraction district. But it looks like it's for making coal in places that don't make coal. So I can put it here in my materials gathering district. That's fascinating. Okay. And I can still build a blasting coal mine there, which I absolutely will do, and just completely consume all of my workforce. Oh, and now the heat demand is decreased. And check it out. Look how much extra coal we're making now. It's actually kind of obscene. But look at this. One of our coal mines, it's starting to run low. So, I mean, I might as well slow these guys down. Oh, actually, we can just turn this one off. Let's turn this one off for now. Because the rate at which coal comes in can be really important. And so shutting down the one that's running low means that we can run them both simultaneously later on while we don't need the coal. We're still stockpiling enough coal that this is going to fill up. So I think that's the right move. Now we've got plenty of workforce back. So we can spend those elsewhere. So one thing we're going to need, though, before, like, we got the cores. The group with the cores came home. But we need way more Frostland teams if we're going to make a colony somewhere. So there's a few different ways to do that. I think one would be to make another logistics district altogether, because each one provides 15. I'm pretty sure that if I expand it, it'll get a building slot. Oh, I think that it might just do more teams, but the main thing it'll do is it'll get a building slot. So that's another option. So the thing is, I don't actually have a building I can build there. I would need to research one. So let's research one. Scouts headquarters, for instance. The Pilgrims like the idea of a survivalist headquarters, which would decrease exploration time and reduce territory threat level. This doesn't look like it would be improving our number of teams, though. This seems like it doesn't help our team situation, does it? What about logistics bays? What does that do? Aha! Yes, this increases our Frostland team's output. So the Pilgrims and the Frostlanders like this. The Stalwarts and New Londoners like these. The Pilgrims don't like me. The Pilgrims are mad at me. So I think I'm going to go with Vanguard. Because it's just better. I mean, it's more expensive. Basically, they want more jobs for their people. Understandable. Okay, so we're going to research that idea. And we're going to expand this thing and get enough Frostland teams that we can go make a colony. In the meantime, we still have a shelter problem to solve. And we still have a materials problem to solve. So let's... Are there any more prefabs that we can get out here? I don't think so, because I'm worried about running low on those. But we could build another materials thingy that connects these guys. I kind of want to reach these guys too, though. And I can't like this. So I think I'm going to frost break first to make sure these guys are available. And then as far as housing goes, I think I can just build something now, can't I? Well, not in the best way. This one right here, it's next to 3 different districts, but that doesn't count. That doesn't make it better compared to being next to a single district multiple times for some reason. So I guess I could put one kind of connecting these 2 districts, and next time I expand it, it will get the heat benefit. I think that's how it works. So I think I'm going to go with that. So let's build that. If I'd been smarter with the logistics district, I could have snaked it down a little more to make this easier, but I didn't do that. I do kind of like how these adjacency benefits kind of cause me to snake things around in a way that, like, you know, builds this into like a cohesive community. Ooh, what's going on over here? Deposits are running low. Okay, so now this is where the child labor comes in. So I can access the lower levels of coal with explosives, and the New Londoners and the Stalwarts like that. So available coal in all deposits will increase by 10%. Or I could recruit child volunteers, which gives us even more coal, but it's children. This is what I did last time, and it had consequences. So I'm going to lay explosives instead. And so I think that, yeah, so our coal deposits just all got a little bit deeper. So we're mostly watching our research here. Oh, something broke. I guess we'll fix it. Okay, so now I can build a new extraction district. The idea being... Ooh. I wanted to get the heat and this, but now this won't quite work. Dang. If I didn't worry about the heat, what I would do is... Oh, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do the thing I was imagining anyway. It's fine. So we're just going to do it this way. All that frost breaking was for nothing. I can't make it work the way I wanted to, but that's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to get some more materials and then some more housing. And once we've researched this, I think we should research something to help our housing without having to expand outwards all the time. Mandatory. So this is just people appreciating mandatory school. This is the same girl that was being a little gangster before. Now she's reading The rabbit took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket. How come no one shanked him and took it away? Are rabbits even real? Gotta ask Miss. So yeah, but she's having fun reading. That's cute. I like the little stories they're telling. All right. Let's finish this research. Okay, we're making a little bit more materials. Let's see if we can make a lot more by putting a sawmill in this new area. So by the way, the first time I played through, I didn't really recognize the potential of buildings. And so I was building a lot of extraction space without necessarily... Look at that. See, now I'm making materials surplus. But I reached those same goals before by just spreading out really wide. But now I can build deep, and I think that's a smarter way to go. Ooh, fire in the shaft. Coal is running out. Now, if you'd put children down there, you'd have to decide whether to save the children. No, this time, you still have to decide if you're going to save workers, but it's not children this time. So I can block off the air supply, let some miners die, but save the deposit. Or we can evacuate the workers, but the blasting coal mine will be destroyed and the district's remaining coal reduced by 50%. Last time I chose this, and I was like, we're going to try to make it, and I barely made it. Like, I barely made it out. I barely was able to switch over to the new fuel and get enough going to keep the city alive at the lower difficulty. I think I might have to go a little harder this time and let some miners die. I'm sure people don't like that. Pilgrims...
This evening to honor those who gave their lives in the mines.
Pilgrims do not seem happy. Let's see if I can make them a promise. Dutiful youth. What's dutiful youth? Crime decreased, more active workers, youth volunteer duty. This seems good. Let's keep working on our kids. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to do something for them that will make them happier. And now, we finished our research. We can build the... No, we can't. We need heat stamps. We need a few more heat stamps. Now we can build the logistics bay. And so while that's building, we'll see what's going on over here. Heat stamps. Pilgrims suggest action. We're struggling with heat stamps. A group of pilgrims will come forward with an idea of how to solve it. We should pass durable goods. So let's see here. I don't know what durable goods is, but let's say yes, because we want the pilgrims to be happy. So first, let's see. So the pilgrims want me to research youth. Dutiful youth. This is going to cost 50 heat stamps. So now let's see. You know what? The stalwarts, can I raise some more money from them? No, I can't. I've got to wait before I do that again. I wonder if the Frostlanders can give me some money. Oh, they don't like me now. They give me a bunch of money, but they do not like me. I'll have to... That's a problem. Okay, but maybe I can make things a little less dire with the pilgrims. We'll start that research. I still want to research some housing, but I'm just... yeah, and then passing durable goods. Let's suggest this. So they want me to do durable goods, which means, okay, people want less of the goods resource, which we haven't been messing with at all. And this means production goes up. So basically, we're not making as many taxes as we could. We're not gathering as many heat stamps as we could because people don't have goods. So this is suggesting a way to make that problem work, better. So I'm going to propose it, and then I'm going to negotiate, and then I kind of want to increase my relations with the Frostlanders anyway. And so then they want me to grant their agenda. That's one thing I could do. And I also like the idea of expeditions going faster, though. I'm going to grant them an agenda. So they get to pick the next law that we're going to vote on. And this almost gets me there, and I think it's good enough. So we'll pass durable goods. Right? Right?
The delegates have spoken.
No, I failed.
Table.
Crap, I didn't do a good enough job. And I still have to grant them their agenda. Okay, a recess for 10 weeks. How long do I have to pass durable goods? Time left 1 week. I've failed. Oh, wait. Okay, no. Okay, good. No, we're fine. 39. So I've got multiple weeks. It's 10 weeks between cancel sessions. I can try again. But so, okay, so I'm going to say, Frostlanders, I'm going to grant you your agenda. So they're going to choose the next law, and I'll try to do durable goods after that. Meanwhile, we're researching dutiful youth, and we're building the Vanguard station. So now we've got way more Frostland teams. Let's go back out here, and let's actually try to build the path to our colony. So building paths is interesting. Basically, each segment that you build costs something, but how long you can build a segment, it depends on the terrain. So okay, I can do that. So now they're going to spend my Frostland teams are going to spend some time building this. And once they've built it, we can turn this into a secondary colony. Oh, what's your problem? Sure, we'll fix your stuff. Okay, let's catch up with what are our other problems here. So we've got a surplus of food, surplus of materials, really low on goods, and shelter could be better. Let's look at one of our housing districts. And now I'm trying to remember, does expanding this increase? I think it does. I think expanding it does increase the housing. Let's watch. So we're at -6 now. Let's see what happens when this fills up. -1. Oh, we're so close. There's one homeless person. Or one homeless unit of people. It's not one person. Oh, what's happening over here now with the stupid coal mine? Oh, somebody's happy that we saved the coal mine from the fire. Well, that's good. All right. So we're still... So I would love to build something to make goods. We only have 103 workforce, though. So unless we seriously decrease... Yeah, we can afford to do that. We can afford to do that. That gets us to 523 people. The way that you fulfill goods is with industrial districts. I need 600 workforce for an industrial district. Seems like a lot. Yeah, and that puts us in a deficit. So, I mean, we are almost at the maximum here, but it's also about to get colder. So I don't think I can commit to this. Not yet. I think I might need a few more people. Yeah. And actually, pretty soon we're going to have to send people to that other colony. And that's going to be rough. All right. Let's let our bars fill up. The city grows. Population growth. Oh, we got more people. That's exactly what I was hoping for. I think they did that just in time for us to build a colony. Okay, so on the idea tree, I would like to build something to do with housing. So we can do a subsidized housing block. Or, ooh, okay. I want to make the Frostlanders happy, so we could just do a regular old housing block, which adds 10 shelter and only needs 50 workforce. Let's do that. Oh, we're starting to run out of prefabs. Is that prefabs here that we're running out of? Or is it... Which thing are we running out of? It's the prefabs. So, I don't think we've got another source of prefabs. Oh, you know what? I think that's the other thing industrial districts do. We need an industrial district, and we need it now. So let's build it alongside these other extraction-y type districts. Wait, let's do it. Let's make sure it can be next to 2 different ones. There we go. All right, so we're going to build an industrial district, and we're going to try to long-term solve our prefab problem. By the way, we have 83 weeks of coal left. And so establishing that colony is actually kind of an emergency. Oh, we've got our path now. So now we can send colonists. Okay, but we don't actually have enough people. It doesn't say. Does it say how many people we need? I think it's something like 3,000. You know what? Let's just... Yeah, so we're sending 3,000 colonists. Oh, stalwarts want to vote on liberated youth. Interesting. That is the opposite of what other people wanted. They wanted me to research dutiful youth. Oh, these guys are working against each other. Oh, that's funny. Okay, sure. Hey, do what you want. Actually, no, what I could have done was agitate against this. All they wanted was to control the agenda, not control the outcome. Whatever. We've got liberated youth. But that doesn't stop us from researching dutiful youth. That's all we promised. You can research both of, opposing agendas. So notice, we basically, to send those... To send those 3,000 people, they basically reduced capacity in, like, almost every district. You can see that's what this little symbol means. They reduced capacity in almost every district, but it was okay because we also were losing 3,000 people. So we could afford to. It's like, in fact, let's see, what happens if I take this down further? Not great. So I'm trying to see if there's one of these things that I can actually reduce more. I could turn this all the way off. Yeah, we're doing okay on food. I'm going to do that. I just want to get a few more people in case we need them for something. But I think... I'm surprised that our housing needs are still where they were. Because we just lost 3,000 people, didn't we? Unless they don't count... Maybe they don't count... Maybe they keep counting against my housing until they arrive. I'm not sure. Oh, looks like something about the materials situation changed. Let's raise this back up. And this? Okay. Yeah, I want to keep making a profit on everything. But... Okay, so we're researching housing. Let's get that done. And these people, they're moving right now. But so is the cold. Oh, wait, we got an event. Program war, mandatory school. Okay, so this is a thing that I love it when they do this. When you enact agendas, sometimes you have to modify them again after your agenda goes in. So we've got mandatory school here, but they say some think we should reduce theoretical knowledge and provide more survival training. We're filling these kids' heads with numbers and useless junk. We ought to take them on field trips to hunt. Others argue for the exact opposite. We need to teach children how to think and come up with new solutions instead of perpetuating outdated practices. What should we do? So we could focus on survival training, which it no longer increases research speed but provides food instead. And the Frostlanders and the Pilgrims like it. Concentrated on science, it increases research speed even more, and the Newlanders and Stalwarts want it. Or I can keep it balanced and everyone's mad. So my relations with the Frostlanders and the Pilgrims have not been good. I think I'd like to make them happier. So we're going to do that. And look, we're no longer red with the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims no longer think we suck. Which is great. Let's look at this over here. Our settlers have almost arrived. But I'm wondering It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. Our community is actually in pretty good shape. We're only shy 1 unit of shelter. We haven't figured out how to make goods yet. Though, actually, one thing we are doing, we do now have an industrial district producing prefabs. So we have a long-term source of prefabs now. I don't think it's producing a lot of prefabs, but it's doing better than what we were doing before. So most of our worst problems... Yeah, actually, no, the industrial district, it's coming up with almost as many as the extraction district was. So we're kind of doing okay. This is a nice peaceful time for us to cut the episode. So I'm going to end it here. But we're not done with Chapter 1 yet. Chapter 1 is really about trying to wean ourselves off coal, mostly, and onto oil. And that means we need to establish a second colony that we're going to maintain at the same time that's extracting oil and transferring the oil to our original colony. And it adds a layer of complexity to the game that it's never had before, and I love it, but it's a lot, and this episode has already gotten long. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. But isn't this game cool? I mean, not only is it challenging my city building instincts in new ways, constantly making me make trade-off choices between one resource and another, one attitude and another, one strategy and another, but also it just looks good doing it. Everything I do is full of this really positive, really inspiring visual feedback that watching my city sort of sprawl out over this icy landscape. So I'm having a really, really good time, and I hope that you've enjoyed this, and that you'll subscribe to my channel and you'll watch my other videos. And when I come back and I make another Frostpunk video, that will go there. So I'll see you then.